Everybody had this idea about me. Wow, you play rugby, you broke your face before, that's so crazy. Very macho sport. But the reality is, I couldn't be myself and I couldn't talk about it with anybody. My anxiety was crippling. Why am I feeling like this? Why do I have so much self-guilt and self-hate? And that was the day that I chose I don't really want to live anymore.
Nice and easy tonight because we've got 2 big games this weekend for both sides, so let's make sure we just get all the detail, everything tonight switched on, and then let's go have dinner.
Let's go. Blacks on 3, blacks on me. 1, 2, 3. Blacks! Give it 2 claps for the blacks. Woo!
We got the Red River Conference Championships this weekend. Today's an awesome day. We have a bunch of people out here. I think it's gonna keep everybody dialed in and really raise that competition. Down, 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 down. Ruck over. White. Keep working around. Around.
My name is Knute O'Donnell. I play rugby for the Austin Blacks in Austin, Texas. I grew up in Osceola, Indiana. It was a small 1-stoplight town. My mom is a CNA and my dad is a CDL truck driver. My relationship with my parents is very good. We've always been really tight. I was a massive Batman fan. I used to dress up as Batman and go to the grocery store with my mom, and I used to call her Alfred all the time, and she went along with us. So I think that kind of shows you how great my mom is. Another massive passion I had as a kid, and I guess the world's gonna find out, but Spice Girls were everything at the time. I had the dolls, posters, everything you name it. I got involved with rugby in high school. I was able to be the water boy my freshman year, just kind of check it out. Loved going to the tournament, seeing bloody faces and, you know, broken bones, and just thought it'd be fun. As soon as I caught that rugby fever, I mean, there was no turning back. I would describe rugby as controlled chaos. But a lot of discipline and patience goes into every single minute of that game. When you're on the field, you will find people from all different backgrounds from all over the world. Lawyers, truck drivers, doctors, you name it. That's what makes the game so beautiful. In every single size, there is a position for you. It takes a special person to play rugby. It's kind of a painful sport. One of the hardest times I got rocked was my first year with the Blacks in 2016.
Y'all sense this ball out.
Oh!
Trainer comes out, she's like, have your teeth always been this crooked? I lost all feeling on the right side of my face, and I broke my lower eye socket and my orbital. We had a game the very next day. I obviously was out for that. That sent us to the national championship. I had to go see about 5 different doctors in Dallas. I said, if your son or daughter was playing in the national championship with this type of injury, what would you tell them? And so they're like, basically just don't get hit in the face. And so that was enough for me.
Here we go. This has been a bruising final. They are tired.
Unfortunately, we lost to Mystic River. The way I dealt with it afterwards, I think that was my real first taste of depression. Not having feeling in the right side of your face, and the doctor's only telling you that we don't know when the nerves are gonna come back. So I'm just there on the couch, just trying to feel my face constantly. I felt very alone. I didn't really think about therapy. Basically told myself everything is fine. It took about 4 months for me to get feeling back. And then, yeah, about 6 months later, I played my next game.
O'Donnell finds a gap.
We are heading to Burfield for Championship Sunday. Both D2 and D3 are on their way to play in the finals against Houston Aeros and the Dallas Reds, and the winners of today go forward in the USA National Playoffs. How we doing?
How we doing?
Dude, good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked for today. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Knute O'Donnell, who is the scrum half, one of the scrum halves for Austin Elite. Knute, how are you?
Yeah.
I think what a really cool aspect of the MLR is it's giving a lot of the club guys like a chance to show what they have too. There's a lot of talent here in America, and a lot of it goes unseen.
The first year playing in MLR definitely took a toll mentally. I was getting paid around $700 a month, and so after we had our 2 practices in the morning, I found another job from an old boy that owns a furniture store called Jaya Furniture. And then I would go teach rugby to elementary school kids about twice a week, and then go to my 3rd practice, and then after that I'd go to UT sometimes to help out with the scrum halves. So when you put all that together, you're basically working 3 jobs while you're training 3 times a day to be a professional athlete. My breaking point was towards the end of the season when they brought in the 3rd scrum half. And so like at this point, like I'm not getting any playing time, which like it happens to pro athletes. Like, you know, I'm not really complaining about that. It was just the fact that I've been busting my butt for 9 months at this point, constantly. And I didn't feel like I had a lot of self-worth playing on that team. I woke up one day and I was pretty over it. And that was the day that I chose I don't really want to live anymore. And so that was really tough to actually look in the mirror and recognize that. I was putting things into my body, like I was just hoping that I wasn't gonna wake up anymore. And I thought that would be the easiest way for me to pass away. I talked with one of my coaches and he's like, "What's going on? Like, how you feeling?" And I was like, "You know what, man? I'll be honest with you. I don't want to live anymore." He's like, "How can I help?" And I was like, "I'm not going to work out today. I don't want to do anything more for this team, but I need you to get me therapy on this team's insurance." He got me in touch with a therapist, and that therapist saved my life. Why am I feeling like this? Why do I have so much self-guilt and self-hate? My sexuality was a huge topic point because I was dealing with that for a couple years, but it really started getting at me during MLR. My anxiety was crippling. I had a lot of really bad stress, but the reality is you're putting so much more pressure on yourself because you can't just be yourself. I hid my sexuality for so long. You know, there'd be some girls that were really cool. I really liked hanging out with them, but ultimately knew that it was probably never gonna go anywhere because I was probably gonna self-sabotage it. I wasn't gonna even try to step over that line in high school. No chance in college. Everybody had this idea about me of, you know, wow, you play rugby, you've, you know, broke your face before, that's so crazy. But like, you go from that to trying to just be real. That's terrifying.
Driving straight in the scrum, as long as we're driving straight on our feet, getting the ball in, getting the ball out, we're having a great time.
Deepest fears of coming out would definitely include loss of friends. And so I told my best friend at the time. He was like very shocked. He asked me the question, "Do you plan on telling the rest of our friends?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, I don't think it's really a good idea. And I said, well, I'm really happy that you're not me. It's not up to you on their reaction, how they take it. So it's really important for you to not dwell on that and focus on what you just accomplished. At the end of the day, the hardest part about just coming out is being true to yourself and looking yourself in the mirror and being like, yeah, it's me. You know, it's always been me. I did lose a couple friends, but not as many as I originally thought. I started opening up more to our teammates, our coaches. They were all very positive about it. They're kind of waiting till we could crack the first joke and it wouldn't be awkward, right?
I'll never forget, he goes, but don't worry, I'm not attracted to you. I was like, well, that's offensive, but I'm happy for you. You know, I saw just a lot of relief come over him. Felt like the whole world was off his shoulders.
I'm a bit of a jokester, so anytime I told anybody in our family, nobody actually believed me. They didn't know how my dad was gonna react, so at the time he was taking a nap, so I go to wake him up and I was like, hey Dad, he's like, what do you want? And I was like, I just wanna let you know I'm gay. And he's like, okay, so? And I'm like, all right, sweet, I'll see you downstairs. My dad came down about 30 minutes later and he like gave me a big hug. He's like, I thought you were messing with me. We ended up, you know, going out for drinks afterwards and kind of celebrating and things like that. And it was a really big moment. The Austin Blacks are extremely inclusive. They've been my backbone from the get-go.
He said, hey man, I want to kind of tell you something about me, if that's okay, if we can go talk over here. Told me that he was gay. I said, hey man, give me a hug, that's awesome. I think that's great. You know, everyone here supports you 100% no matter what. It doesn't mean anything to anybody other than, you know, something more that we know about you.
Seeing that overflow of love pour out, especially all my close teammates, like they finally understood what I was going through, because a lot of them saw me depressed. They saw me acting out because I wasn't facing what I was going through. So when they understood, they're like, that's what it was.
You know, rugby culture, I've been in rugby culture for 25 years and it can be homophobic, not necessarily on the women's side, but certainly on the men's teams. And we've completely changed the culture, largely led by Knute. I love how the guys came together, like now attend Pride as a club, completely surround them with nothing but love.
We went to Austin Pride. That was like the first time I felt really happy because I had a bunch of my friends from this team backing me up. They're so excited for it and something so foreign to them. And they're just like, I'm all in on it. You know, why wouldn't I be? Because we're here for you. I have been in a relationship with a guy named John for 2 years and a couple months. He's awesome, he's very lovable, and has probably the most contagious laugh you'll ever hear in your life.
He is always willing to help out all of his friends, my family all the time. He's just such a sweet guy.
So to see Knute happy in a relationship, it's just awesome. The love they have for one another, the fun they have, and just kind of the energy they bring.
Oh my God, you cheese balls.
Knute, when I first met him, isn't so different than what he is now. I think he's really come into his own more.
He's definitely grown up as a leader on the team. He's Mr. Reliable. If you need something done, you're in a pinch, he's your go-to guy. Those are the qualities in him that really have been unchanging, and that's why I love him.
I've been there. Anxiety, stress, coming out. There's been a lot of people who have gone through the same things. We just need to find them. Like, you're gonna be able to relate to somebody who's been in the same situation. I think as long as my story can potentially help somebody out, maybe even go get therapy, hell, that's a win. Pride means loving yourself. It's so easy in this world to be hard on yourself without understanding how far you've come. That pride in realizing who you are, you kind of look at yourself, you're like, I am that guy, or I am that girl, and I've gone through a lot to get here. If you don't give yourself a shot to like yourself, it's gonna be a really hard life. Try to work on liking yourself before loving yourself, and it's those little steps.